So I talked about how the world is changing. There is the old way and the new way. And in the old way of doing things, the overview is we had certain methods of communication and getting stuff done, and some of it works, some of it doesn't, but there's new ways of doing things. So in the old way, the way we've traditionally done things for the last 100 years or the last 50 years, you have one-way communication. In the new way, we have two-way interactivity. In the old way, it was broadcast, one powerful entity sending out a message to many people, they would just absorb it and listen. The new way, peer-to-peer, sharing. Everybody is involved, everybody has an opinion, everybody can come back and give feedback about what they think is important. There's an H in here. In the old way, you acted alone or with a very small group as a citizen. In the new way, this is citizens acting together to get stuff done. In the old way, very expensive. Time, resources, money, and that's why, again, only the people at the top tended to participate. In the new way, the cost can come down through crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, and sharing the cost. Just like we have discounted brokerages, discounted places like Costco, or places where you can buy things by pooling your funds and your resources and finding a way to decrease the cost of participating. The old way was very involved with the parties. You were either on the left, the right, the Democrats, or the Republicans. All the messages, all the alignment, all they wanted to do was get you into the party, follow the party line, and that's it. The new way is bipartisan, or nonpartisan, or multi-partisan, where the party matters less because some of these issues are so complex. They don't adhere to one stringent, narrow group. They often overlap. And you do have bipartisanship when that happens. In the old world, in the old way of doing things, special interests ran the show. Why? Well, because they had the money and they had the power and they could get stuff done. So the special interest had solved many of the problems for themselves and their specific groups. In the new way, you can have broad groups with a multifaceted crossover among issues. So it isn't just special interests, it can be broad interests and coalitions where an individual or a group doesn't have one single issue, they can have multiple issues. One more tip, in the iLobby profile on the site, when you go in, you can actually select several issues that are important to you, and then that will help introduce you to other people who agree with you. Just like, if you choose a book on Amazon, you say, I like thrillers, you'll find other people who also like thrillers and books that you might enjoy. It's the same thing here. You select the interests that you have in terms of the categories or the issues, and then you can find other people with similar interests over time, and that helps you build your coalition. In the old world, it was very difficult to engage. It's hard to do all this stuff, to figure it out, to know what to do, and to get something moving forward. In the new world, you can still engage, but you can engage where you don't have to consume 24 hours of your day. You can do it within a couple of minutes on a mobile phone or a different platform. It's very easy, quick, simple. Here, in the old world, difficult, hard, boring, plotting, bureaucratic. That's what you want to get away from. This is not DC. This is district constrained. In the old way of thinking about this, you are district constrained. You can only work within your specific district. It is like a silo, so you must stay within your district. In the new way, it's open. You can actually support people in other districts, and there's a way to do that. I've used the phrase, issues transcend boundaries, but voters do not. And issues are like capital. They do, in fact, transcend boundaries. You have the same concerns here in California or Texas as you might in New York or Florida or Illinois. But because you're operating independently, often you don't realize that. In this model, you can actually access other people in other districts who can help you. And there's a reason for that. I won't go into it here, but it's actually a good way to move things ahead. In the old world, you had a fixed place, time, an event that you attended, and then that's when you got to speak. Voting is very much like that as well. Every 4 years, you have a window of opportunity. You have 8 hours. You go to a specific polling place at your local school or fire station or whatever it might be, and you have the ability to check a box and select your candidate. You had a fixed place in the past, and now it's ubiquitous. You can do this anywhere. It is a mobile environment. The same with this. I said it was fixed time. Now, anywhere, anytime. You had a special method of contact. It was generally fixed, and you could only do things in a certain way, and you had to follow the protocol, the etiquette, etc. Now, it's multimodal. You can do different things in different ways and build a campaign based on lots of different ways to approach the issues. The whole process was limited. You needed an expert to walk you through that. And in some cases you still do, but now it's a little more open and at least you can learn about it. In the old world, the legislative language was very complex, and it still is. But that's the legislative bureau language. And when you're at the idea stage, it's actually colloquial. So the language is actually simpler to understand and you know what the thing means. The worst case is when a bill or it passes and it turns into an act and it's 1,000 pages or 500 pages and it's written in such a manner that only your attorney or team of attorneys can even understand what is being said. That doesn't have to happen. In the old world, it's all about experts. The experts define the policy, they know what's best, they have the solutions, they have the answers, and I think what we're seeing is that's beginning to break down. The experts don't have all the answers. So who has the answers? It's the people on the ground. And who are the people on the ground? It's you. Citizen legislators have a leg up because you're closer to the issues, you understand the problems, there's more of you, you can break it down, and instead of having a narrow group focus on it and only expert opinions, you probably have something to say, but you just are not stepping forward because you don't have a simple way to do this. In the old world, strategic alignment is incredibly confusing. And I'll talk about that separately. But basically, it's having the right voter in the right district with the right member from the right committee on the right issue with the right lobbyist to move the whole thing forward. And it was very opaque and confusing unless you were an insider, okay? However, now, what we can do is take that and strip away the inefficiencies and make sure that strategic alignment is built into the system, it is simplified, or delegated to someone who does this every day. Takes the burden off of you so you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to learn to become a lobbyist to do this. That's not what you want to do. So you can stick with the old way and keep doing the same thing over and over again and run into these problems and remain frustrated, which I don't think anybody wants. Or you can start looking at the new way of doing things and realizing that you could actually get something done in a unique way that you never thought about before.
Want to know more? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit ilobby.mykajabi.com for more information.